Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Jai Nimai, Jai Jai Gaur. Jai Jai Shri Dham Mayapur. Jai Jai Nimai, Jai Jai Gaur. Jai Jai Shri Dham Mayapur. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudev, Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, Jaya Srila Gurudev. Jai Shri Shri Radha Kalachan Ji ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Very happy Mokshada Ekadashi to all of you, and happy Gita Jayanti. Today is the advent of Bhagavad Gita spoken by the Lord Krishna. And today we have a special program, Gita recitation in Temple Hall. 12 o'clock to 12:30 will be Aarti, and then 12:30 to 6:30 will be the recitation, and 6:30 to 7 will be Gaur Aarti. So it's a wonderful opportunity for each of us to be present here and get to hear Bhagavad Gita on the day Krishna spoke this. So let's take advantage of this wonderful mercy that we are getting. And today we will be continuing reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 8. 1 to 8. If you can open it today, we know we don't have the screen, so if you can all open it in your phones or refer to the book if you have it. 1 to 8. Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 8. Srila Prabhupada has quoted many verses from this chapter. It's a wonderful chapter. Okay, please repeat after me. Dharmah svanavsthitah pumsham Vishwakshena kathasu yaha Notpadyed yadiratim Shrama eva hi kevalam Dharmah svanasthita pumsham Vishwakshena kathasu yaha Notpadyed yadiratim Shrama eva hi kevalam. Please recite. Dharmah svanastita pumsham Vishwakshena kathasu yaha Notpadyedradiratim Shama eva hi kevalam. Dharma svanastita pumsam Vishwakshena kathasu yaha Notpadyedradiratim Shama eva hi kevalam. Dharmasana stita pumsam Vishwakshena kathasu yaha Notapadyedradiratim Shama eva hi kevalam. Let's read the word-to-word translation. We can read this together. Dharmaha, occupation. Swana asthitaha, executed in terms of one's own position. Pumsham, of humankind. Vishwakshena, the personality of Godhead, plenary portion. Kathasu, in the message of. Yaha, what is. Na, not. Utpadayet, does produce. Yadi, if. Ratim, attraction. Shamaha, useless labor. Eva, only. He, certainly. Kevalam, entirely. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. Purport. There are different occupational activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialist who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to concentrated and extended selfishness. This is a wonderful point we'll understand. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. This is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and world with a view to gross bodily comfort. Above these gross materialists are the mental speculators who hover aloft in the mental spheres, and their occupational duties involve making poetry and philosophy or propagating some ism with the same aim of selfishness limited to the body and to the mind. But above the body and mind is the dormant spirit soul, whose absence from the body makes the whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. But less intelligent people have no information of the needs of the spirit soul. Because foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the purview of the mind, of the body and mind, they are not satisfied in the performance of their occupational duties. The question of the satisfaction of the soul is raised herein. The self is beyond the gross body and subtle mind. He is the potent active principle of the body and mind. Without knowing the need of the dormant soul, one cannot be happy simply with emolument of the body and mind. The body and mind are but superfluous outer coverings of the spirit soul. The spirit soul's needs must be fulfilled. Simply by cleansing the cage of the bird, one does not satisfy the bird. One must actually know the needs of the bird himself. The need of the spirit soul is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desire of complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the supreme personality of Godhead. There is a dormant affection of God within everyone. Spiritual existence is manifested through the gross body and the mind in the form of perverted affection for gross and subtle matter. Therefore, we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagements that will evoke our divine consciousness. This is possible only by hearing and chanting the divine activities of the Supreme Lord. And any occupational activity which does not help one to achieve attachment for hearing and chanting this transcendental message of Godhead is said herein to be simply a waste of time. Shrameva hi kevalam. This is because other occupational duties, whatever ism they may belong to, cannot give liberation to the soul. Even the activities of the salvationists are considered to be useless because of their failure to pick up the fountainhead of all liberties. The gross materialist can practically see that his material gain is limited only to time and space, either in this world or in the other. Even if he goes up to the Swargaloka, he will find no permanent abode for his hankering soul. The hankering soul must be satisfied by the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaitva Gatadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So, Shram Eva Hi Kevalam. How many times we have heard the reference of this very text? Many times. Most, this basically sums up our Vedic literature, the goal, to understand our supreme goal that we all have, our dharma that we have. So, so could, like we all of us read the purport, could anybody just tell me the points that Srila Prabhupada, or the themes that actually came in, that were raised here? Any important points? Oh yeah, sorry. We have mic for the online audience. Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna's one point was all occupational duties must help us awaken our God consciousness.
Yes. All the activities
Otherwise they're
must.
completely useless.
Sorry?
Otherwise they're completely useless.
Yes. Any other point? There are many points raised here. Yes, please. Just 1 second, we'll speak on the mic.
Devotional service or bhakti, it's misery in the world.
Yes, without devotional service, there will be misery in the world. We'll experience misery in this world.
Yeah, every day.
Every day, every minute. Thank you. Any other point?
Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. This is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and world with a view to gross bodily comfort. It goes on, of course, but the idea of the concentrated selfishness and the extended selfishness.
Yes. Any other point?
The remedy is perfect devotional service.
Right.
So it always leads back to that.
So all of you are right. All the points, and we can connect when we meet people, not just devotees, but outside when we meet people, we will come across these complaints that I'm not happy. No matter what I do, my family is not happy, or I am not satisfied. That's the most important theme that comes across when we talk to our colleagues, our friends, our people we meet every day. Or sometimes we experience that, what to speak of others, that I'm not satisfied. Because the reason that we are not satisfied, we also don't know what really satisfaction means or what bliss means, because we may have not experienced it. Because the complete satisfaction of the soul and mind is, when you're just happy, you don't have any complaints, you're in a state where it's hard to even explain, because have you experienced where you're not having intrusive thoughts, you're not overthinking, or you're not either cribbing about your past or worrying about your future, and not living in the moment? Because most of the time we are not being mindful, because we are not present in the moment. And that is when we are kind of disconnected. We are not even doing a great duty as a materialist, if I speak, because many people are just lost even in this body, because the mind and body is so related, it's so linked, but we don't know, even the mind doesn't have a mind of its own, if I say so. So over here we see that hierarchy is mentioned, that the lower the animals, they practice gross, like a concentrated selfishness. So what is concentrated selfishness? When we are just focusing on this particular body that you own. And then it extends to extended selfishness. It's still selfishness. Even if you're in the human body, it doesn't mean you suddenly become selfless. You suddenly start doing things that make you above being selfish. Because you can still do those things. And that's what Prabhupada said, that extended selfishness is when you're just attached to your family, your community, you're doing things to feel proud of your family, or just, okay, this belongs to me and I should take care of it because this belongs to me. That's the idea of selfishness. If that thing does not belong to me, I won't really care. So unless it happens to us, we don't really care what's happening around the world, what's happening in the neighborhood, what's happening in the next house, what's happening, because, okay, I'm not part of it, or that thing is not part of me. That is where this ego comes, this selfishness comes, because it is not related to me. And hence we have been so lost with Krishna because we have forgotten about the relationship that we have with Krishna. The relationship that is so, it's dormant, it's there, but it's not active yet. And how can we activate that relationship? When we go beyond the senses, when we go beyond even the mind. Just like the example was given here, that it doesn't matter if you keep maintaining the bird cage, you keep cleaning the bird cage, but if you're not feeding the need of the bird, it's useless. It's useless labor. The bird's not going to survive. And that analogy is that the bird is the soul and the bird cage is this body. So I might be just fulfilling all the needs of concentrated and extended body needs, selfishness, but I am not fulfilling the need of the soul. Because anything that you try to do, that we try to do, things, daily things, that's catering to the needs of the body and mind, such as, okay, let me have a nice meal, let me go out and, just spend my time. Even working can be said, Shrameva hi kevalam, if it's not done with the consciousness that I'm doing this for Krishna, or the money that I get, I'm using that in service of Krishna. So even if you're working really hard, which all of us are, waking up early in the morning, running to work, or just doing household chores, or like so many things that we're doing, it would be just useless labor if it is not increasing your attraction to Krishna. If it's not helping you get closer to Krishna, whatever you're doing is useless labor, is useless work. Whatever we are doing, it's useless. And I was just thinking that even if when we are doing service and we are not thinking of Krishna, what do I mean by that? That sometimes if we are doing service to get recognition, or that, I can do main services, I am so popular, I'm praised by people, and that is the reason I'm doing it, then even that is not bringing me closer to Krishna. But if it's not increasing my attraction to Krishna, then I'm just, of course, it's okay, at least we are doing some service, but it's not the best, and we want to do the best, because that is going to nurture the soul. It's really important to keep asking yourself this question, that whatever I am doing, anything, be it eating, be it sitting, be it breathing, am I being conscious of Krishna? It can be as subtle as I am seeing a flower, I'm seeing a rose, and I suddenly remember, oh, Krishna wears, a garland. So it's described in Bhagavatam that Krishna wears a big garland. We can see Kalachandji wearing one. And the garland is so long that it's just a little above his lotus feet. It's called Vajayanti Mala that Krishna wears. It's combined with different flowers, Malati flowers, Champa, and like few more flowers. And Krishna is wearing that. We can think of this just by looking at a flower. Just by seeing somebody, meeting somebody, and I see somebody walk inside and I see, oh, Krishna is within them. Within this person is the super soul. So I am remembering Krishna like that. But even if I'm on the altar and I'm doing some service and I'm not remembering Krishna, then how am I getting closer to him? How is my activity, my action, my occupational duty bringing me closer to Krishna? How is it helping me? Then it's just some actions that I'm doing. Of course, Krishna is merciful that he will give you the mercy, because that's how we all started, right? That's how we all started. We started doing japa, or we started coming to temple, not with the pure devotion, or not with highest mood, but still Krishna elevated us. this is a ladder that we are constantly climbing. And like in Bhagavad Gita, it talks about yoga. And what is yoga? It's a Sanskrit word which means union, connection. So when you connect with yourself connects with the higher self, with the supreme soul, that is the highest yoga. So there's a ladder. It starts with Karm Kand, Karm Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and then topmost is Bhakti Yoga. And Srila Prabhupada has given Bhakti Yoga directly, and if you read Srimad Bhagavad Gita today, if you're going to read, you will see almost in every chapter's purports, even if it's not titled devotional service, Prabhupada will say devotional service is the topmost. Why? Because he knows, if somebody opens even one page, reads just 1 or 2 pages of Bhagavad Gita, at least you should get the essence of it. That's why many times, it's like somebody opens a chapter and it's like, okay, this is not titled Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. Why is Prabhupada bringing, even in Karma Yoga chapter, Bhakti Yoga is topmost? Because he wants you to get the essence. We have that durbuddhi, like things have to be repeated. If they are not repeated, we don't understand the importance of it. So reiteration, it's like constantly it is being reiterated in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the topmost goal, the essence of bhakti, so that we are not deviated, because we are easily, our minds are so fickle, like we will just we might be doing the right thing, we might be serving, even then our mind just will start deviating. So, like I said, the first point, it is the satisfaction of the soul. And everybody is hankering for it. Everybody is looking for satisfaction. Everybody in this world. Everybody wants the happiness. But we are all following different paths. And that's why Prabhupada said that the one who is, the gross materialists are the ones who are after sense gratification, concentrated and extended. And above them are the mental speculators who do poetry, do philosophy, and who are speculating on things. So higher than the gross materialists are the ones who are mental speculators. At least they have risen from body to mind. But even above that, it goes higher than that, is our devotees who are trying to do service, who are trying to fulfill this hankering of the soul. So it's from body, it rises to mind, and from mind, it rises to the soul. Because that is the real identity. I am a soul. And so you can go to any planet, any planetary system, anywhere in this universe or another universe, you'll still not be satisfied if you're not working towards fulfilling the need of the soul. And that's what people are trying to, people are becoming more self-realized. They're trying to work on themselves and eventually realizing, either the hard way or by speculating, that I need to become more reflective. I need to become more conscious of who I am. That's the Athato Brahma Jigyasa. That's how that curiosity, that Jigyasa starts. Who am I? What is the purpose of my life? But sometimes people start that at the age of 80. And some can start at the age of 5. Some can start even like at the age of 30, 40, any age. And this is gifted to us. This intelligence is gifted to us by Krishna. So if we are not using our intelligence, then we won't be able to understand what is the purpose of this life. So just see everything Krishna has given to you. Just like a kid gets a puzzle set, and everything is scattered in front of him or her. But they're trying to solve it. It might take some time, but the resources are right there in front of us. Just like that, Krishna has given everything to us. Krishna has given us intelligence, which we can use. Krishna has given us the resources to use. But how a gross materialist will use that resources and how a devotee or a transcendentalist will use those resources makes the whole difference. Just like Prabhupada gives an example, if a doctor has a knife, is holding a knife, and a thief is holding a knife, there's a lot of difference, because how it is being utilized. A doctor will save a life while a thief might take a life, will harm somebody. And so our mind is just like that knife, because our mind, I really love this example. Just when you see a tap running, like the water is flowing, and if you have some dishes under it, then that flowing of water is useful. The tap is running and it's useful. But imagine the tap is just running and there's nothing, you're doing nothing with that. It's just simply wastage. So often people ask, what is the difference between overthinking and constructive thinking? And the answer is that the same, just like that tap. If you're actually using it for something, then it's constructive. But if it's just you're letting your mind just run on those intrusive thoughts, and randomly you're thinking about your past and worrying about your future, feeling regret, guilt, lots of things we might have done, behaved badly towards somebody, or did something wrong, or worrying if my life will be better in future or not. All of this is just that water running, just overthinking. Because is it helping me right now? Already Srimad Bhagavatam has said that you've done millions, not just this lifetime. If we get to understand what we were, who we were in previous lifetimes, imagine our mind will just burst open. That's why Krishna gives us the forgetfulness also, the ability to forget. Once somebody asked my spiritual master that, I cannot remember. I have this habit of forgetting things, and he said that it's a good thing sometimes. Like, it's good if you can't remember everything, because if you did, you would hold so much anger within you, so much guilt within you. Your mind cannot take it, right? So when something bad happens, our whole day gets affected, because our mind just cannot take it. Why? Because we are still letting the mind be absorbed in everything. Do not give the reins to your mind. Just like the chariot, it's depicted in Bhagavad Gita. The whole chariot that represents our body, and the horses are the five senses, and the reins is the mind, and the one who's the charioteer is the intelligence, and the passenger is the soul. So what the charioteer has done is given the reins to the mind. The reins represents the mind, I think, yeah, and it's just letting the horses run wild, because the reins has been given to the mind, but you have to give it to the intelligence who knows better. Intelligence is what Krishna has given you to be utilized. And when you use intelligence, you take the right decisions. The definition of intelligence, scriptures say, is the ability to discriminate between what's right and what's wrong. Half of the people in this world don't know what's right for them, what's wrong. So that's the hierarchy in this purport that's mentioned. And when you act, when you engage with resources around you, make sure that you're engaging in things that evoke the higher consciousness. We have both within us. The lower, the ability to go towards the lower nature or the higher nature. A human being has both. But that's where your intelligence comes in, where you can really understand and decide, do you want to go towards the higher nature or do you want to go downward? And I think we'll be able to remember that we need to go up towards the higher goal when we are constantly reminded about the purpose of our life. Otherwise, it's really hard. We might be just doing things without realizing where am I really going? Where am I really headed? And that's why, like I said, it's very important to become more mindful, more conscious of where you are and what you're thinking. What are you allowing yourself? Just like people are becoming more and more conscious of how many calories they are taking, what they are eating. As devotees, we all know we are conscious, okay, is this in my do's and don'ts? Is this in my do's? Yeah, am I supposed to eat this? Just like that, our mind is constantly eating thoughts, consuming thoughts. So how about we become more conscious of, is this thought or is this activity good for me? Is this Krishna conscious diet for my mind? That's really important. In fact, that is the first filter that we need to have. Because when we are conscious of what we are doing, what we are thinking, our purification is happening. It does not need to be, purification is does not happen only inside the temple, or only in the morning hours, or only when we have beads in our hands. Purification can be throughout the day. And that is directly linked with the conscious, where you are, what you are conscious of. Whenever Mahaprabhu, anybody used to come and pay obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he used to say, Krishna, I don't know if somebody remembers that, but yes, Krishna Mati Rastu. May you always be conscious of Krishna. Let your attention be on Krishna. Krishna Mati Rastu. So it sometimes gets hard to always be conscious of directly the Supreme Lord, but maybe we can become more and more conscious of, if we have good relationships with devotees. I've seen that when you meet devotees, you instantly get reminded of Krishna. Why? Because you feel the mercy. Mercy is all around you, but are you being recipient of that mercy? It's just like radio channels, you know. Do you have the frequency to catch it? So just like mercy is all around us, we need to become recipient of it. And how would you become recipient of the mercy around you? What do you think? It's an open question. How can we become more and more aware and recipient of taking mercy? What? Yes, Prabhuji.
Just like it is said, we're in this room right now and there are frequencies, radio frequencies. If you have to get tuned to the frequency, you need to have the antenna. So similarly, Radhana Swami once he said, our antenna is submissiveness,
Yes.
and willingness to follow in the footsteps of the great acharyas. Mahajano Inagatasapanda.
Yes, perfect. We need to become more submissive. In fact, most submissive, but it happens gradually. If you need to get that mercy, that's the mood that I need to have. I need to become submissive. I need to become grateful for everything that I have in my life. Everything that I don't have in my life also should make me feel grateful. Because Krishna has a reason that he has arranged a certain life for us. And that we'll become more submissive by hearing and chanting. When we keep hearing the Vedic literature, we keep hearing these wonderful personalities, the souls, wonderful souls in our Srimad Bhagavatam. It does make us desire, at least, that one day we can serve a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj. One day we can have devotion like Mother Kunti. The prayers that Mother Kunti has written are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. What a mood! She's asking for miseries. We're asking for miseries to go away, but she's asking, I want miseries because the purpose is that helps me always remember Krishna, and Krishna is always with me. Of course, we don't have to, if we don't feel that, because I know we don't feel like, oh Krishna Kalachandji, please give me misery so that I can always remember you. We don't have that kind of mood, and that's okay. But we need to, what's more important is being honest with Kalachandji, being honest with him. How? Whatever desires you have, you can come and share with him, with Krishna, but also then tell him, Krishna, see, this is the desire I have at this moment. What do I do? I have this desire, but with your mercy, one day I can come to the pure devotional platform. But this is what is my state right now. When you open up to him like you open up to a friend, in fact, he's the best friend, Surid, he's the best well-wisher. Krishna is the closest to us, literally, he's there in your heart. Nobody can be closest to you than Krishna, because he is residing inside you. So, when you share your heart with him, make sure that you're doing it with honesty. Even if, sometimes, how do you, aggravate that and build on that relationship? When you come and talk to Krishna, you share your thoughts, and then you say, Krishna, I want to be more, I see that I want to become more humble, I need to become more humble, and, please give me the blessings to do so. This is an example I'm giving. And then, okay, let me try to do this, that when I come for next darshan, be it in 24 hours or be it every Sunday or every morning, wherever you're coming, I want to make sure that I am able to serve at least 2-3 devotees. Maybe you have that thought in your head, in your mind, and then you say to Krishna, and make sure the next time you come, you give feedback to Krishna, whether you were able to do it or not. If you're not able to do it, don't think, let me not go and have darshan, I don't know what, how can I face Krishna, I made this. It's okay. He's not a Hitler, he's not somebody who's gonna reprimand you. He appreciates your efforts. He appreciates your willingness to make an effort. And then you come back and you say, Krishna, I tried, I was only able to glorify or serve one devotee, but I will try harder next time, I will do it. But if you don't come and give feedback to Krishna, then you forgot what you prayed for. Then you actually forget it. That's what happens with us. Because some days we might be in Shuddha Satogun mode of good, extreme goodness. You're like, oh wow, today my rounds were really good, I'm so happy. And I made such vows to Krishna. Not vows, but I just thought of this. And next 2-3 days, I went low in my chanting and I had a bad day and I just forgot about it. But no, make sure it's like a homework you do. That's how Krishna, if you reach to Krishna, only then he will reciprocate. So we need to initiate that relationship that's dormant, and it will become active when you initiate. So these are the few points that we covered. That satisfaction of the soul is the thing that we're all running after, and we can attain that through perfect process of devotion service, and making sure that the activities that we're engaging in evoke higher consciousness, not lower consciousness, not lower thoughts, not anarthas, the feeling of getting angry, feeling more lost, feeling guilt, feeling regret. Not. We will feel that. I'm not saying you are not going to. You are going to feel all these emotions, but making sure that I take that as an opportunity that I am able to now come back to Krishna. One amazing class, I think Vrajahari Prabhu gave recently, a month ago or something, that he said, we need to chase Krishna, just like Mother Yashoda. But if we cannot chase Krishna, we need to choose Krishna among the options that we have. But if you're not able to choose Krishna, at least come back to Krishna, right? So when you're chanting, this is when you can literally understand this example. Chase Krishna when you're chanting, like chase with intensity in your heart. But if you're not able to do that because the mind is wandering non-stop, so you choose between those thoughts. Okay, tell this thought, I know you need my attention, I need to do this work, I need to soak dal, I need to do the etc. I need to go and iron my clothes, like everything that comes to your mind. And then tell, okay, this thought can wait, let me first complete my rounds. I will attend to it. Just maturely handle that. And if and then you come back to Krishna. If you can't choose, then you make sure that you wandered, but come back to Krishna. Come back to the mantra that you're chanting. Come back. And I think what really helps when you really connect with the beats that you're holding are conscious. If you think like that, they're not just just something you're chanting on. They're not different. Mahamantra is not different from Krishna. So your beads are like a personality. If you think like that, you're going to come back to Krishna. We will open for question and answers in just 2-3 minutes. Today, since it's Gita Jayanti, I wanted to just read the Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya, Glories of Bhagavad Gita. It's just few translations compiled by Adi Shankaracharya. It will really set the mood for the day. It'll just take 2 minutes. So there are 7 verses. I'll just read the translation. One who, with a regulated mind, recites with devotion this Bhagavad Gita which is the bestower of all virtue, will attain to a holy abode such as Vaikuntha, the residence of Lord Vishnu, which is always free from the mundane qualities based on fear and lamentation. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely, with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water, but if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures, but it is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By drinking the Ganges water of the Gita, the divine quintessence of the Mahabharata emanating from the holy lotus mouth of Lord Vishnu, one will never take rebirth in the material world again. In other words, by devotionally reciting the Gita, the cycle of birth and death is terminated. All the Upanishads are like a cow, and the milker of the cow is Lord Shri Krishna, the son of Nanda. Arjun is the calf. Arjun is the calf. The beautiful nectar of the Gita is the milk, and the fortunate devotees of fine theistic intellect are the drinkers and enjoyers of that milk. There need be only one holy scripture, the divine Gita sung by Lord Krishna, only one worshipable Lord Shri Krishna, only one mantra, his holy names, and only one duty, devotional service unto that supreme worshipable Lord Shri Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Please share if you have any comments, any realizations, or any questions. Yeah, Gokulanand Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. It was such a wonderful class. You beautifully churned the nectar of ocean of Srimad Bhagavatam and brought out many jewels out of it. And there were many takeaways from today's class, but there were particularly 2 that I was meditating on. First one, you spoke about the lower and higher nature. So that reminded me of Radhanath Swami many times quoting Bhakti Tirtha Swami about the 2 dogs that all of us we have within us. There is good dog and bad dog. So bad dog represents the lower nature. So if you just keep feeding that bad dog, then it gets stronger and stronger. But if you just let it starve, so because of starving, it may get initially stronger because it is annoyed, agitated. So it starts roaring like a tiger. But then if you just don't give in and keeps making that bad dog starve more and more, then finally it gets weak. So I was meditating on that instruction. And the other one, the beautiful point that you brought out was about serving the devotees. Like I'm seeing now Achyut Govinda Prabhu doing this service. So this took me back when once we had a churning in Ishtagoshti in the Brahmacharya ashram. So the topic was discussing about 64 items of devotional service that Rupa Goswami says, and we're counting how many we, even inadvertently or indirectly and unknowingly, we perform, So we counted like as many as 45 or 50 plus. So then I was thinking, in my current situation, how many of those I'm doing? At least 5 key items of devotional service that we have been asked to perform every day are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in the holy place or visiting the holy place. So
Yeah.
at least I can come to Kalachanji temple. Then chanting the holy names that all of us anyways we have to do. Then rendering service to the devotees. Like it could be anything, like serving Charanamrit, or it could be anything, right? Or and then the last one was, what was it? Deity worship. So these 5 items, potent items of devotional service, each one of us can do every day. It is possible.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Prabhuji, can you pass the mic behind you?
One point you mentioned that in pursuit of happiness, people get caught up in the sense gratification, and then misery comes, and then soul is starved. When you take care of the soul through the devotion and service, then you get to the ultimate happiness. And another point you mentioned, that it's also in Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes when I say that Kunti Devi was asking Lord Krishna for misery, and people are shocked. They don't understand. Because pain and misery actually take us deeper within us. And then you feel the real happiness. When you surrender, grace comes. And surrender, there's grace. I like that point.
Thank you so much. Miseries are going to be there even if we don't ask for them. Yeah.
So in the beginning of this purport, Prabhupada mentions centered selfishness and extended selfishness.
Yes, concentrated and extended selfishness.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Since it's Gita Jayanti, one way to avoid that is by the distribution of these books, especially during marathons. So I wanted to pull up a quote from Prabhupada. It said, so-called transcendental meditation, go to the Himalaya and go to the forest. We are not interested at all in that nonsense. Our only business is to spread Bhagavad Gita as it is, door to door, town to town, city to city. We are not going to seclusion. Prahlad Maharaj said, this is professional bluff. I am going to the Himalaya. I am going to the forest. Prahlad Maharaj condemns that. These are professional bluffs. Or they may be sincere, but still they are trying for their own salvation. Prahlad Maharaj said, I am not interested in that. I am interested in everyone's salvation. Everyone must go back home, back to Godhead. That is Vaishnava, not for my own salvation. I go to the Himalaya or in the forest in transcendental meditation nonsense. We're not interested in those things.
Sure.
So by distributing the books, we can learn to become more compassionate and break out of that shell of selfishness. And especially when distributing books, I've been meditating that there's 3 stages. There's the initial contact, then there's the follow-up and the maintenance of a person. And so as a society, we tend to just do the first thing, which is the initial contact. But there's a whole process to bringing people closer. And this is how we stay engaged, is constantly meditating on those that we meet or those that we want to meet, and how we can follow up and maintain them, as well as simultaneously taking care of one of another. So this is one way to avoid that selfish mentality. Just wanted to share that.
Yeah,
Since
thank
it
you
ties
very
into
much.
Gita Jayanti a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, Prabhuji wanted to add something?
Often Prabhupada says that you serve humanity by serving God. Like, use the example of a pond with the stones in the middle, or the watering the roots of the tree, and then all the branches and everything's satisfied. But then other people say that, you got to start by serving, taking care of women and children, taking care of the poor. That you got to start at the bottom and then work your way up to God. But then
Mm.
Prabhupada says, no, you start with God, and then that works. It's like rooting the root of the tree. So, that's my question is, how are we best serving? Is it by serving God, and then it trickles down, or do we take care of the women, children, poor people,
Mm.
animals,
Mm.
and work your way up?
I think what I understand is, of course, anybody can comment on this also, but Prabhupada is saying, in doing all of this, whatever services you're doing, occupational duties, taking care of people around you, but do not get lost in that and forget the highest purpose. So it also does not mean that we are following the highest purpose and we are not being kind and compassionate towards people around us, our family members, and not taking care of mothers and children, and etc., being a good citizen. All of these, of course, are important, but we should not forget the highest purpose. And that's why Prabhupada keeps bringing this point up, because we feel it's easier to do these things. We'll just do this, and because it's more instantly gratifying, we'll get appreciation. But because when you get in bhakti, you don't get you don't see the results immediately. And so Prabhupada wants to remind us that what you're doing, this is the highest goal, and do not get deviated from that. And yeah, that's the right process. But other things, it doesn't mean that they are not important. They of course, as a devotee, in fact, somebody who becomes really a devotee is compassionate, is intelligent, is following dharma. So that's what I believe. Yeah. One thing I wanted to add, yes, this compassion point that Prabhuji brought up, preaching and becoming, extending that compassion towards others. So sometimes even in bhakti, we don't want to become selfish, holding on all the mercy, holding on, limiting it us to me or my family members. But let's say prasadam, or getting something we are getting, we want to share it with others. We don't want to hold on to that because, it's so much mercy and let me take all the mercy. No. A real devotee, I don't want to say a devotee would be somebody who would want to distribute as much mercy as he or she can. And that would be the, how you can see a person who is really nice. I'm speaking on generic sense. Not somebody who makes a great first impression, welcomes new people and has a great mood, but somebody who meets people meeting every day and still how they are making them feel. So it's not that, I have wonderful qualities, I'm a wonderful, talented person, and that makes me wonderful. No. What really makes me wonderful is meeting the same people I meet every day and how I am making them feel. Because it's easy to make a first impression on people we meet. I'm like, wow, Hare Krishna, you're so wonderful, I glorify them, and I meet them every single day and now they become non-existent to me. No, that should not be the case. We should be really appreciative, we should be really genuinely and we'll feel that genuine appreciation and gratitude when we are following this perfect devotional service. Why is Prabhupada saying this is perfect? Because it gives you all the qualities. And the funny thing is, you don't want those qualities. In the sense, you're not looking or hankering for the qualities. You're just hankering for the love of Krishna, love towards Krishna. Krishna, please accept me. So this mood answers all the questions. Being submissive, being compassionate, being humble. All of this naturally comes to you when you're only hankering for the love of Krishna. So everything gets under that bracket. So yeah, let's all pray to Shri Radha Kalachandji that today, on this very auspicious day of Gita Jayanti, we are able to understand the wonderful message of Bhagavad Gita. This message of Bhagavad Gita that is being spread all over the world is for me. Every time we read a shloka, we shouldn't think, this devotee should read it, they should work on themselves. No, it is for me. This message is for me. Krishna is talking to me. Krishna has said this again and again, gave this knowledge 5,000 years ago to Arjun. He gave it to me through Arjun. We should think it like that. So yes, let's all pray that we get the most of this mercy and we are able to spread it to everybody around us. Hare Krishna. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री भगवद गीता की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय।
Acho